special life just 'cause I'm a girl in a twisted world. They call this living free. What good is free if it's not for me? This is inequality. What happened to quality? People.
I'm December Rose, and I'm the next guest on Rob's Inner Circle. Don't go anywhere, stay right where you are, and we'll be right back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rob's Inner Circle, broadcasting live on my personal Facebook page, on the Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channel, and on the Rob's Inner Circle Twitch account. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We have an absolutely dazzling show for you folks tonight, so you don't want to go anywhere. You want to stay right where you are, because we'll be right back. The usual shout out goes out to my good friend and producer Rob's Inner Circle, Miss Jenny Duhame, and also to our other partner in crime who just joined our crew not long ago, the production family, Miss Patty Saragosa, our new techie. Thanks, girls, for being on the show. It's that much better because of your contribution. Guys, at the same time, I wanted to give an honorable mention to someone in the film industry, Mr. Michael Flannery of the short film The Hit has been honored for the best score at the Short and Sweet Film Festival. Congratulations to you, Michael. Congratulations as well to Jason A. White, the director of The Hit, and also Hilary Barraford, who played the lead role of the actress in The Hit. Good for you guys. We're very proud of you here at Roger and Circle. All the best to you. Great stuff. I also want to give a shout out as well to all of my former colleagues and friends at Le Réseau de Transport de Longueuil. That's the transit system on the South Shore of Montreal, because there are many of you who actually tune in to Rob's Inner Circle over here. So this is fantastic. Thanks, guys, for your loyalty. And at the same time, why not? We go up north just a little bit, just across the river on the island of Montreal. La Société Transport de Montréal, the bus drivers there as well. To all of you guys, stay safe. Thanks for tuning into Rob's Inner Circle. Much appreciated. We also want to do one last thing before we go out and we get on with the show, with the weekly ritual. Guys, we want to give you a shout out to all of you great people who are supporting Bobby's Short Shorts, and we invite all of you out there to come on and to subscribe to Bobby's Short Shorts. You go onto the playlist. All our productions are there, including past podcasts that you guys can go rewatch. Tonight's podcast is going to be posted on the podcast playlist right after the show, about a half hour in, so you guys could go there. You want to give us these blue thumbs, many of these. Go ahead and comment. Leave us all your nice comments. You want to talk about it, you want to share, and you want to subscribe. While you're at it, why not? Just go right beside the subscribe button. Hit that notification bell, because every time there's a new production out, you guys will be the first to know. We got a very excited house tonight. We got a lot of good guests coming in. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. It's going to be a great show, like we said. But before we go anywhere, we have to have our weekly ritual. So by now, everybody knows that you should be in your pajamas, right? And I take it that all of you are, right? Yeah, you wish. Yeah, anyways, for those of you who aren't, you're forgiven. Anyways, I'm not hard, okay? But you also want to have that glass of wine, because we're going to need this to raise the glass and toast our amazing guest tonight because she's absolutely delightful. I promise you guys. I'm putting my back on the line for this. I promise you guys that you will absolutely fall in love with our guest. That's a promise, guys. Let's sit back into the chair over here and just like let all the steam go down and relax. Let the day's stress go by and get ready for an amazing show. So, guys, are you guys ready? Because I know I'm ready. Hey, don't get too cozy, Rosie. Don't get too cozy-wozy, Rosie, back there, huh? Yeah, we got a show to give over here. Stand by, Rosie. We're coming to get you. It's that time once again, guys. It's showtime. Let's bring it on, guys. Tonight's guest is a charming lady. You're absolutely going to love this lady. She's a very gifted and talented singer, songwriter, pianist. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait to have her on. Here she is. The delightful December Rose.
Hi, guys.
Hey, December Rose.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for coming on. This is really delightful. This is going to be great. Rose, I'm really excited. Hey, by the way, you know what? 18 days in, who cares? Happy New Year.
Hold on a second. I need to caution you one thing. There is a double audio playing right now. So
double audio? Oh my
God. All
God.
the audio that's streaming right now is playing again like 30 seconds later. So I'm hearing it twice.
Okay. Are you tuned in to one of your devices? Maybe you're tuned into YouTube or something for the show? Because it's not coming on my end. There's nothing going on here.
Okay.
We're experiencing technical difficulties. Stand by. While we get this, we try to fix this technical problem over here. Let's flash some of the comments coming up over here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. How are we making out? We okay? Yeah, you're probably on another stream.
I don't have anything else open.
Okay, Rosie, you know what? Let's try to make the best of it. Hopefully everything's going to go all right.
Okay, so we'll just have a bit of like pause in between because everything that we both say is going to repeat.
Okay, well, hey, you know what? It's okay. My mom used to repeat all the time. I'm used to it. Don't worry about it. Okay. Rose, we're in for a great show, Rose. Okay, Rose, tell us. We got some exciting news, some breaking news, something that just came in, something about you being booked on the UB Now show. What's that all about?
It should be on February 27th. I guess we're saying tentatively at the moment. We're just trying to work out a couple of logistics, so it should be okay.
Okay, so it's going to be like a live performance, and apparently the audience is going to be able to be tuning in with you afterwards and interact with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there's that 20-second delay you were talking about. I get it. Okay, so Rose, how did this wonderful story all start off? I mean, your mom was changing your diapers one day, and there was Pavarotti on the TV, and it's like you didn't even know to say Gaga. And next thing you know, your mom discovers you're a potential singer. Tell us all about that. That's exciting.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously it's before my memory thing, but she told me that she's changing my diaper. Pavarotti had a commercial, and he was coming to the Bell Center in Montreal, and I was able to, like, sing along with it well after it had finished. So I was like, okay, I guess, like, she has some talent, you know? So, I guess around 6 or so, she started getting me, like, acquainted with music lessons, and then in time I finally took up some coaching with some teachers, and I continued with it. I just stuck to it and slowly got more competitive about it, and here I am now, just doing it professionally. Became my life.
Okay, your song "Raise Your Voice," was it in December? I believe I read up something about that on your website, that you won an award for that, and your ballots were cast side by side with some pretty big names out there, such as Lewis Capaldi. You also had Shawn Mendes and Billie Eilish.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. I think what was really nice about it is that I finally like got some kind of industry recognition. But it was my first big single. I had been signed before for several years, and I guess kind of like coming out of the record label and starting back by myself, I released Raise Your Voice in March 2019 and gave it the biggest push that I could and that I knew how. So I think for it to have charted and like kind of, I guess, helped me accrue these accolades, put me in a different position now, you know. So I was really grateful that at least like it was like, okay, finally I'm doing something right.
Okay, well, great. And that song, Raise Your Voice, has a message in it because it's pretty clear. I watched the video a couple of times there, and it's not that video, but guys, I'm almost embarrassed to admit this, but Rosie's song, that's part of the medley. I had to use these Kleenex. I swear to God, guys, she made me cry. Her song made me cry when we were young. Oh, guys, when that song's gonna play, I'm gonna have to get out of here. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get embarrassed on national television here. Rosie, what's that song all about?
The Raise Your Voice or the When We Were Young?
Okay, go with the Raise Your Voice. You won an award for that one. Hey, while we're at it, Raise Your Voice first, and then we can talk about When We Were Young.
So I guess like years ago when I was working with a publicist, she made a lot of excuses about not kind of like getting anywhere in the industry or not, I guess, getting to the places that I'd like because of just not being attractive with glasses, or as she would have put it, like that booking agents thought it was not sexy enough or not attractive enough. So like, I guess it definitely did a number on me because I just said, hey, well, you know, this is a decision. Like, you know, what if I can't wear contacts? And what if I like wearing glasses? And why does that make me less attractive because I wear glasses? Which I understand, like, that it's a really superficial industry, but I guess I got a little stubborn about it and I wanted to write about it. And I wanted to talk about like just feeling over-sexualized in the industry and that some things are not okay. And it's not okay to say you can't have a career because you wear glasses. Like it was just so stupid. And there's no better way to say it. It was just a stupid fact. So I wrote the song and I used that as part of the story. And the rest of it was kind of like, it took a while to finish the songwriting. I ran out of not ideas, but just I ran out of like the way to articulate how I felt about things. And so finally, the Me Too movement started. And I guess I didn't realize like how many of my friends on Facebook and women that I knew had been victims of sexual assault. And so they kind of, I think just reading their stories online and then having my own experiences in the industry and like being over-sexualized, that I guess I just, it tipped it over the edge for me to finish the song and to put the video together. And just, it took on a new message for me where it was, yes, a lot of women are over-sexualized. Yes, the industry is difficult and over-sexualizes people. But I think that there was a greater meaning, and the message is that people need to assert themselves. They need to address things. They need to speak up about things they care about, because if everyone just acts as a doormat, things are going to stay the same. So, yeah, so I thought it was a good way to kind of get back in the industry as an independent artist and make it my first big kind of like single coming back as an indie.
And you don't have any shortage of glasses, because I think you have something like 18,000 pairs, right?
I currently have 10.
10. That's close enough.
But you know, it's like you see better on some days than others. That's all.
Hey, how about the other song, When We Were Young? Don't try not to make me cry. Yeah, how about When We Were Young? Talk about that one.
Sure. So so that one started several years ago as well. I guess like I got sensitive about how a lot of things that were coming up in the media, just, you know, we talk about racism and we talk about discrimination and we talk about a lot of injustices and things that are going on. And I guess it kind of got me thinking about, you know, when we were in kindergarten or elementary school and we had recess and we would just go out and play. And that was kind of like the highlight of our day. So I got into this reflective position where I was like, let's kind of go back there. Let's go back to our youth and to the things that mattered to us and how we loved just to love. And we had friends just because it was fun to know people. And we interacted with genders and nationalities and races and all this just because, and we all, for the most part, got along, you know. But it wasn't because we saw differences, and our differences weren't greater than our similarities. So I guess that kind of triggered the whole songwriting process of it. And the video was to mirror a lot of like my personal life and my experience with all this stuff. So a lot of the videos I used were actually videos of people, of friends, family, friends and stuff that with their kids, and just kind of like them growing up and to take us back to that youth. But there's also my my dad and my family friends in this video as well, just to kind of show the process of aging and like how people age differently, and sometimes when we age, things don't turn out the way we want. We do things that we don't really want, but it's our way of coping with things. But that if we hold on to that youth in ourselves, we don't need to let it go. And so that's where I had the mini Rosie in there, who's actually one of my students, and we just kind of played off this whole thing of that even though she disappears by the end, but we don't have to let our youth go. We can still hold on to that and make better choices so that we stay young at heart and we can continue to live out of love.
Oh, the transmission has jammed up. I'm sorry, Rose. We lost part of that conversation. Can you go back and repeat maybe the last 2 sentences, please?
Yeah, I was just saying that basically even by the end of the song, even though she disappears, like in this video, the whole point is that we don't need to let go of our youth. And if we hold on to it, we can continue to live out of love.
Okay, fantastic. All right. By the way, remember back in August when I had Rob and Patty live going, and that's where we met for the first time.
Yeah.
We had an amazing interview with you. By the way, Patty sends you her kindest regards.
Oh, that's so sweet. Tell her I said hi.
Well, she's here right now. She's part of the audience.
Okay. Hi.
So where does the name December Rose come from?
I got to give my mom credit on this one because I started off my music project just going with my my own name, and didn't really. After some time, we felt like maybe it was too generic, didn't really work. So my mom's like, hey, like December Rose, how about that? It's your birth month and the first part of your name, Rose, so it has a nice ring to it, and it rolled off the tongue nice, so I just kept it around with it.
Wow, that's a pretty original name, December Rose. Yeah, it's beautiful. And
Thank you.
So beautiful that I think it's time for a toast.
Okay. I have it with my coffee, my prescription coffee cup.
Is your coffee like a reddish kind of color? Look at my coffee; it's red.
Sure, yeah, we can say that because we could do a red.
Hey, here's to Rosie, to her health, to love, to success, and all you wish for in 2021. This one's for you, Rosie.
Well. Cheers.
Cheers. Rosie, you sing in 4 languages?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Okay. You sing in 4 languages.
In 4 languages, yeah. So in my time in school, I studied classical singing at Banyan College and then Concordia. And part of the program was that we had to sing in multiple languages. So my training was I had to sing in English, French, Italian, Spanish, German, and Latin, actually. So 6. But I don't use the Latin and German very often. It's something I can do, but I don't actively use it.
Oh, wow. So 6 languages. That's pretty amazing. So one thing's for sure, you have the knack here of communications, in the world of communications, right?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
So you're a singer, you're a songwriter, you're a piano person, a piano girl, a pianist. Is that the way you say it? A pianist?
A pianist, yeah, that's the word. I play a lot. I play a lot less piano, but I use.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. The overlapping is making my brain split, but it's okay.
We're gonna have to put our technical team on this. That's really unfortunate. I'm sorry, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the broadcast. The audience seems to be saying that it's coming through okay. It's between us, I guess. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I play. I don't like consider myself so much a pianist anymore. I accompany myself when I play. But I had to make a decision at some point to like figure out. Oh wait, you disappeared now. There you are.
I'm here.
Okay, so yeah, so I just kind of songwrite, and I guess I would say like singer-songwriter, and at this point vocal coach.
Okay, well, you see, the audience has confirmed. Jenny has confirmed. Our producer's saying that everything is okay on the audience's end, so we don't have to worry about whatever's going on here. Let's just keep it up. We're doing a good job here.
Perfect.
Okay, so when I tend to disappear, when I go like this is all to give you the the audience's attention and all that. You're also a teacher, a grueling teacher, from what I hear.
That could be pretty accurate, yeah. I learned the classical ways of music, and it was fine, and it was really helpful and beneficial to me now. That being said, I'm gonna try this whole headset thing. I'm just gonna take it off and see if that helps.
Yeah, you're also a teacher, a grueling teacher, from what I hear.
No, I didn't change anything. But anyways, that could be pretty accurate. Yeah, I'm a vocal coach as well, and so what I tried to do with the vocal coaching at this point was I learned the classical ways of adapt the classical techniques to modern pop and contemporary music and to all genres. So that way, it can create some versatility in a performer. And like that was something that I struggled with in school, is that I felt like it was classical and you read music and perform it, and I needed more. I needed to be able to learn about how to perform other genres, how to become more of a performer and less of like maybe just a singer, which is fine. Like each their own, and everybody has their own goals going into school. But my heartthrob was pop and like contemporary music, and that was what I wanted to kind of major in. So I adapted all the techniques to the pop stuff, became a coach. And so now I work with a lot of developing artists and aspiring singers as a sideline to doing my own craft.
Okay, Rosie, I don't know if you can put the headphones back on. I'm getting a cacophony of confusion here. I'm sorry, technically. Yeah. Are you okay? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. When you took the headphones off, and Teresa was saying it wasn't working. I hope it's working, people. I'm really, really sorry about the inconvenience, guys. Maybe you have to log off. Well, what we're going to do is that we're going to play a medley from December Rose over here, and hopefully it's going to restore whatever is going bad over here. So, Rosie, we're going to play the medley that I told you was responsible for my emotions. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Our guest, December Rose, and we're going to be playing one of her lovely medleys.
Rosie, you ready?
Yep.
Up the, to the highest, through the darkest, I reach for you. I picked the apple from the apple tree, the highest point where the better ones tend to be. It's really hard, but it's worth the climb. People like you are one of a kind. Not sorry for believing, sorry for believing in love. Not sorry for believing, sorry for believing in love. Not sorry for believing, sorry. Some people want you just for show. Sorry for believing in love. Not sorry for believing. Being arm candy and high fives with the bros. Sorry for believing in love. Not sorry for believing, sorry. But I'm more than a body, something to hold. I'm a woman to value. When we were young, every girl was a queen. Difference was unseen when we were young. And Barbies were toys and cars were for boys when we were young. And the gender we had was neither good or bad when we were young, when we were young. Oh, when we were young, and love was fine.
Rosie.
Did you make it out without tears?
You know what? I did. Actually,
Okay, good.
I'm proud. I did it. Thanks. Okay, our technical support team gave us a call while we're playing the medley, and we found out where the source of the problem is. What we're gonna have you do is shut everything down and log right back in because the problem is coming on your end. We're getting the feedback from your end.
Okay.
Yeah. So can you shut everything down and you come log back in?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep going with the audience over here.
Okay.
So, folks, we're going to lose Rosie for the next couple of minutes, but she's going to be right back. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is an unfortunate incident tonight. It's all technical. It's all good. Yes, she absolutely has an amazing voice, Teresa. Guys, if you have questions, what we could do is keep the questions for the end of the show, like maybe 20 minutes in or something before we sign off. So, Rose, is that better for you? It's all technical.
Sounds the same to me.
Oh my God. Okay. So did you shut everything down?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, you know what? We're gonna try. We're gonna try to get by somehow.
Yeah, it's okay.
Actually, see, you're getting a lot of comments here saying that you're such a great singer.
Right.
And I told you, December Rose, expect to be going on other podcasts. I am sure.
Same to me.
Because you are absolutely talented. Rose, let's get right back into the show there. We lost a bit of our flow. Tell us, you were talking about your love for animation, that maybe one day you would love to do some voiceover for an animated film. Talk to us about that.
That's like, it's a dream. It's on my bucket list. Honestly, like, I love animated films, and I love a lot of Disney and Pixar films, and sure, I would love someday to be able to be a voiceover on one of those and just like write songs for it and do that. But maybe at some point also come up with my own cartoon series or animation series. It's always been a little dream at heart. Just I guess I didn't really think that it would be possible as a kid. You know, you always have these big dreams and you're like, oh, maybe I don't know how to do it. But here I am, never really expecting that I would necessarily like be a full-time singer and songwriter and stuff, and that was possible. So sky's the limit, just putting it out there to the universe and eventually get it done.
Well, you know what, we think alike, Rosie. That's exactly the same thing. That's my way of approaching things. Rosie, have you considered also maybe an eventual career in acting? Because acting, voiceover, and all that, it goes hand in hand somehow.
It's something I definitely considered, and I actually I got into music a little bit more because of the acting. Because when I was about 14, I joined an acting school, kind of like hoping it would be the back door to music. Okay, which I guess if that's being 100% transparent. But this acting school kind of touched on a lot of things. There was a little bit of music, a little bit of acting, a little bit of dance, which I really appreciated. Just kind of having that full training. But I realized that wasn't really my passion. And so being honest about that, I went in because of music. And so at the end of the day, my love was always music. The acting was helpful, for stage presence and all that jazz, and just kind of helping me out with breaking some of that, stage fright. But for sure, down the road, I think it would be cool to get back into acting and to doing that maybe more regularly, but always with music being the focal point. So if it were an animation, voice animation would still be revolving around the singing parts, in a lot of these Disney productions and stuff, there's a lot of music. So I think if it were from that angle, then I would be, I think, a good candidate. If it was straight up acting, I think I would have to do a little bit of thinking and maybe kind of just get a coach to guide me right, because I'm a little rusty.
Well, you have some members of the audience making some very nice comments over here. We have Esther B. Accessories. A lot of singers have great voices for voiceover as well. And we have a film producer by the name of Teresa Picciano. She's a Montreal film producer. And you have great sound for animation. Next song video, make it animation. Well, that's a great suggestion.
We could talk about that after the show, actually, because it is something I considered.
Okay. So you play the piano, you sing, and you write songs. You also play some kind of other instrument as well.
Not regularly. In high school, I was part of the school band, and I played alto sax and guitar. But we could talk about that after the show. I didn't continue with them. It's something that's probably still banked in my memory, but not not something that I would probably go and play on stage. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so you obviously been around the the music circuit for a while, and you play at weddings, you play at banquets. What's your favorite kind of a gig?
I didn't continue with favorite kind of gig. So that's a hard question to answer, actually, because I think that every artist's dream is to perform their own music, which it is. And I love doing that. And those are probably my favorite gigs in the sense that, like, you know, it's something I make. It's something that I make to connect with audience and to be able to talk to them and engage with them and to share a message and a story. But there is that part of me as a performer and as a singer that I love being able to party with a crowd and to be able to give them some joy for a night in a way that there's nothing like the joy, like sharing joy with a lot of people in the same room at the same time in the same song, when everybody sings along to these songs that they know. And of course those things can happen with your own music, but I love a lot of genres. I love a lot of music. And so I don't think I'd be as great of an artist today if I didn't work in wedding bands too, because there was a lot of skill that the wedding bands taught me in the way of, you know, how to read people and how to engage with them, how to reach them where they're at, how to make things that have gotten boring more interesting. Because of course, if you go on a tour and you sing your song like 70 times in that year, well, it might get a little stale. So I think the wedding bands taught me a lot in all that, the endurance, the just the whole thing from start to finish. So I have to give that a lot of credit. So I don't really have a favorite, but I definitely like to do more of my original music at live shows.
And you have plans for doing a lot more of that when we get out of this situation we're in right now.
I definitely would. Also, I would like to take a minute just to apologize to anybody watching right now if it seems like I'm yelling. I don't mean to be yelling, but I'm talking over that second audio that I'm hearing in this ear.
Rosie, you're Italian. It's normal that you yell when you talk.
Okay.
We all yell when we talk. Oh my God, Rosie. So listen, tell us about your best experience, your most memorable show that you did that you absolutely loved. You have the greatest memories about.
I'm hearing in this ear.
Rosie,
there's two of them and two for different reasons. So one of them was actually a small loft party that I played with a band that I was in several years ago. It was that moment that I was kind of talking about, like at these weddings where people share the same joy on the same songs in the same moment with a lot of people, and you feel like this energy and this inexplicable energy in the room that you want to be part of. So it was a small loft party, but it was something that made the most lasting impression. And the second one was, I'd say probably at the Festa di Pompei in 3 summers ago in Saint Michel. There were just so many people, and I don't think I'd played in front of that many people before, so it was pretty overwhelming. But it was really challenging to reach that many people at one time. So that was also super memorable for me.
Wasn't that the Super Fantastico contest you took part in?
Yeah, but when we played at the Festa di Pompei, like the outdoor concert with the fireworks.
Okay. So tell us, what is your worst experience as a performer?
Well. So this is pretty cringy, and I guess anyone that plays piano would maybe relate to this or could in some way. I think I was 15, and I was invited to play at this fundraiser at a church. And they said, you know, we're going to provide a piano. Don't worry, just show up and come and do your thing. I'm like, okay. So I show up with sheet music for Make You Feel My Love from Adele. I had never played piano like at a show live before. I had just kind of like taken my lessons and played at home. And I didn't have a lot of performance experience. So I show up at this event, I sing, I'm starting the performance, my fingers get really sweaty and they start fumbling on all the notes. But the part that made it worse is that this keyboard was a lot smaller than a regular size piano. So at some point throughout the song, I realized that my hand just fell off the piano because there were no more notes to play the chords.
Oh my God.
And then when I tried to put it back on the piano, it was too late. Like there were just too many mistakes, and it was horrible. So I stop and I just look at the crowd, and like everyone's like dead quiet. And I just say in this like super strange accent, like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm going to take it from the chorus." So I was like, okay, well, there's no chorus in the song. So what am I going to do? And it just got worse. And so I ended up finishing it a cappella and then just closed up the music, walked off stage and left because I just saw my sister and my parents like shrink into the seats with embarrassment. Like, we don't know her. Like, it was awful. So, I still get goosebumps when I think back to that. It was really awful.
I can imagine.
So, could only go up from there.
Oh.
That was rock bottom.
Hey, Rosie, tell me, you wrote a lot of songs. You know, how many songs do you know? Like, in your repertoire, how many songs do you know, including your own songs with covers that you do?
Yeah. I mean, for the corporate stuff, like the repertoire is pretty huge. I would say about like 250.
What's jamming now?
Plus my own. I mean, another 20. Yeah, between like 270, 275.
Okay, so you would agree with me that it's possible that at some point you may forget the lyrics to a song, right? And when that happens, first of all, does it happen to you?
Yes.
Okay, so when that happens, how do you get out of that situation?
So, Adele gave the greatest advice on an interview once, and she said that she gets so nervous on tour that she would frequently forget her words and turn her mic out to her audience so they could sing her words for her. And I just thought it was brilliant. So like, what do? I mean, right now I smile and nod.
My God.
But eventually, I guess when people might know my songs, then I could maybe do the same.
Okay, and your vocal range, what would you be qualified as? Certainly not a tenor.
No. I guess I would consider myself a high soprano. Like, I would say pretty high soprano.
Soprano? Are you Tony Soprano's daughter, niece? No?
Yeah, okay.
No? I practiced it before we came on. You laughed.
Yeah.
Supposed to be laughing now. That was the purpose of practicing. Okay, so Rosie, when you were in school, you told me a story that you also learned some saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
And something really cool happened, that one of your classmates was having problems with asthma, and all of a sudden something happened with the saxophone. This is a great story you can share with us.
Yeah, so it was grade 8, and I gave up guitar at that point and had to take another instrument, which was alto sax. But there was a guy in my class that had asthma, a long time suffered with asthma, and he picked up tenor sax. And so it was kind of like, he was kind of worried about the whole asthma thing and how that would affect his ability to perform and to play sax. But funny enough, the playing of the sax actually improved his asthma, and he needed to use his pump a lot less, or he was having a lot less attacks and things because apparently his lungs were getting stronger. So I don't know if that's like scientifically proven, but it really helped the situation.
Okay. In terms of saxophones, I'm sure there's more than one type of saxophone, right? You were telling me that there was the alto, there was the tenor.
Tenor, soprano, and I think there's like a baritone sax too. Don't quote me on that, but anyone that's like watching it right now can correct me. It feels like a lifetime ago.
And by the way, guys, we're in that time frame right now. If you people have any questions for our guest, December Rose, please feel free. Now is the time. December Rose is going to take the time. She's going to answer your questions. And while you guys are preparing the questions, I have a question for her myself. Rosie, have you considered making music for movies and television?
For film and television?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Like so I guess what's in my like immediate plans is to release my album because I've been working on that for some time. So that's my first baby to be born soon. But I'm always working on a lot of projects, and I do have an EP in the works that's like specifically for like film and television, or inspired by film and television. I guess like the big inspiration for that is I took a trip to Disney 3 years ago, and I went on some of those virtual reality rides, and I cried like a baby. It was just super emotional, like very super powerful. It was amazing. And so I left that trip and came back to Montreal, and I felt like the whole plane ride here I was writing, and I had a lot of ideas. So now I have an EP in progress for that as well. It won't be released for some time. I'm still developing it and whatever, but it's on my agenda.
Okay, and your voice, your vocal cords, funny as it may seem, it's actually an instrument, because you have to maintain that, right? There's a certain kind of daily routine you have to have. It's like going to the gym. You have to do some certain things to keep your voice in shape. And you were telling me it goes as far as how you eat and the vitamins you take and all that. Tell us all about that. Funny as it may seem, it's actually an instrument, because you have to maintain.
So, sorry, the
delay. I know.
It's okay. Yeah. So, in the way of what you eat and the supplements you take. So, of course, like I think, so if you eat bad, your energy's low. You don't have the stamina to, let's say, handle a whole evening of music. Let's just say. So, if you have a pileup of fatigue, you oversing at an event, you could start to, over time, you could develop vocal nodules or vocal issues. So I guess why all these things are important is that, like, you are what you eat, you are what you consume, you are what you allow into your body. So all of it accumulates. If you don't eat well, consequentially, you may not be healthy. Let's just say, if you have deficiencies and you don't address them with, let's say a naturopath or a doctor or your health assistant, these things wear you down. So even in the way of, let's say, exercise, which aids and assists your overall well-being, doing a good workout and improving your physical condition does give you more strength and stamina live during gigs. So I remember there was a time where, like, before I got into fitness and going to the gyms, I was singing well, but not the same as when I started training and doing, let's say, core workouts. As I developed more core muscle, I felt like I had a lot more power and strength to project and to handle an entire evening. So there were like little things that accumulated and that contributed to the bigger picture of being able to sing better and, last longer over an evening and just a better performer. So I think your physical health as a singer is your most important focus, because without your physical health, you're not going to deliver on the vocals.
And how much practice do you have to go through daily? Because it must be like playing the guitar. I guess you have to at least 2-3 hours a day of practicing your vocal cords.
That was university days.
Okay.
But otherwise, like, realistically, as a teacher, like, I don't push the kids or students or any of the artists that I coach to necessarily practice every day. I think it's important that they sing things because they love to do it. So I feel like as soon as you get homework, you don't want to do it. As soon as you're told to do something, you don't want to do it. You break the rules. So in the way of what's appropriate, I think it's effectiveness and efficiency in the education. So if you want to get good, the teacher has to be good, and then you have to apply it. So actually, here may be a suggestion for Michael. Singers or songwriters or myself, what's the singers? Oh, any advice in general? I guess if maybe Michael will ask that later. But so I think, like, in the way of improving, of course, practice helps, but it's smart practicing and it's efficient practicing. It's not just singing the song 100 times. It's addressing the parts that are broken and working with a coach through those parts that maybe you might need some assistance with. So for myself, like, in university, I would, maybe sing an hour a day, 2 hours a day, but more practice doesn't mean better. More practice could just mean a lot of lazy practice and inefficient practice. So I think if you're going to allot some practice time in your schedule to improve your craft, just allot smart practice time and maybe work with a coach so that you can have even more efficient practicing.
To someone like me who knows absolutely nothing about singing, I mean, and it's just in terms of like technicality, right? How long would
Mhm.
it take someone like me with a raunchy voice that I have to reach the level that you are as a soprano? I mean, how many years, how many decades would it take me to get there? Someone like me who knows absolutely nothing about singing.
Hmm.
Um,
I don't think that there's really an answer for that because I've had some artists that I work with that it takes them a few weeks, and some that it takes them a few months. Some it takes them even a few years, and some not at all. I think it just I think what's important is about working with what you have, and so that's kind of like my goal as a coach is like I meet artists where they're at, I ask them where they want to go, and then I help them shape what they have into a healthy way. So
okay.
I'm not gonna transform you into a Bocelli. You might have it or you might not, but it's okay because we could still work with what you have and shape what you have into something beautiful.
Okay, so you hear the tone of my voice. I'm definitely a tenor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
It sounds like it could be.
okay, I'm not going to sing. Forget it. I'm going to lose all the audience. But but let's say in terms of I know it depends on the practice and the work you put into it and all that. But you take a guy like me. Can I sing like Jimmy Page? I don't know if you know anything about rock and roll, the older days. There's a delay, of course. Okay. Yeah, Rose, I'm going to formulate that again. Sorry. You take a guy who's a tenor like
Okay.
me, okay, and he wants to get like to a level like who's a popular singer these days? My God, Enrique Iglesias, whatever. You must know him,
Sure.
right?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long would it take me to reach that level, that voice over there? Yeah, Rose, I'm going to formulate that again. It would
It
take me a
really
long time, a
depends.
lot of practice.
I wish I could give you a more like concrete answer with an amount of time, but there isn't really that kind of answer. Um, there's a lot of factors like there's what how quickly your voice adapts to techniques, how quickly they make sense to you, how quickly that you know where you want to go. Um, yeah, there's a lot to consider. There's no right answer to that.
Okay, Teresa's got a question for you. What was a highlight in your music career?
That is a good question. I think I think the radio award that I got in 2020 because that felt like kind of like a first more official like recognizable win that I was able to achieve as an independent artist. So yeah, it was that was probably it.
Okay. Tell us, how many bands do you play in? Because you play with more, you have December Rose and you got two other bands, right?
Yeah, so December Rose is my personal project, like my music, my writing stuff, whatever. And then as like side things that I do is I work with Soul Station Orchestra and Soul Attire. Both kind of do different things. The Soul Attire is more for like cocktails and like acoustic parties and things like that. Soul Station Orchestra is a larger band, and we tend to do like the receptions and the big parties and big corporate events and things like that. So they're both a lot of fun, and everyone I work with is awesome, and so I'm really lucky to be working with pretty much family. So
Wow.
yeah.
So, what happens is the people from one band to the other, they all, come into December Rose and give you a hand. And that's great because it's versatility, right?
Yeah, versatility and like loyalty, and we really work as a family, which is great because we all help all of our projects, and everyone is successful in our own way, like because of each other. So it's great.
We got another question by Teresa. Thank you, Teresa, for the questions. And Teresa asks, and what is one of your musical dreams? That's great.
Um, so I'd love to go on tour, but I guess like dream one would be to do the like an official like Pixar like voiceover.
And you know what? It can happen because there's a lot of people that hang out on our show. There's film producers, there's directors, there's casting agents, people who take care of voiceover. So, Rosie, tonight is probably not in vain. I have a funny feeling my spider senses are tingling. They're telling me that something's going to happen because of your presence tonight on our show. Something very nice is coming your way, and I feel it. It's out in the universe.
Yeah.
Getting the waves.
I could. You never know. Like I said, you just put it out there and you never know.
As long as I'm the first to know if that happens, right?
course.
Is that a deal?
Deal.
Okay. It's gig day, right? Tonight is your gig. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Those 12 hours leading to the show. What is Rosie doing?
So everyone has their own system with this, but I guess like, and mine's maybe a little untraditional. I do like to kind of be more mellow during the day and not really I don't like talking a lot before a gig, but not because like I'm afraid of hurting my voice. It's just that I'd rather kind of like keep that energy for a little later. But I want to just say, like, put it out there. I know a lot of singers, would say, oh, don't drink like coffee, don't eat cheese, just drink a lot of like lemon ginger tea with honey, and like those things are all great. But funny enough, like I love having coffee before, during, and after gigs. I do drink water too, but I love having my coffee with milk in it. And I totally consume dairy and bananas beforehand. And all of it really helps, actually, me personally, because I find like the extra mucus just kind of coats well, and you can do a lot of vocal effects without hurting yourself live. So I found a way to use it to my advantage. But I guess that's part of my regimen before a show.
So tell me, if a singer wants to ruin his or her voice, okay, like really screw it up, what is the worst thing a singer can do to damage his or her voice?
I would say like if singers are smoking a lot, smoking and drinking a lot, that's probably like a really good first step to like ruining your voice, because there's a lot of irritation and a lot of dryness on the voice, and you just don't really have any like vocal coating or protection, so it's gonna be swollen and inflamed and irritated, plus all the pressure of the evening of the performance. The recovery is gonna be a lot longer, so higher risk for sure.
Okay, and who have been and are still your major influences in your career? Who are the singers that you look up to?
Hands down, I would say Adele, Sia, and Lady Gaga. But to clarify with Lady Gaga, I would say like Lady Gaga outside of the meat suit. All of that more like raw stuff that she makes, more piano voice centered, like kind of like soundtrack of A Star Is Born, like that kind of stuff that Lady Gaga writes is what always really inspired me to be like, man, this woman's got her stuff together.
Okay, so you're an experienced singer, but still, no matter how many shows you do, you always get the jitters. You're a bit like me, you get the jitters before you go perform. Is there a certain way that we can deal with that?
I mean, if I had an answer, I would be doing it myself. But I get jitters all the time. It doesn't matter how many shows I do. Like I still get nervous, but I think it's a good sign that we care, because when you don't care so much about something and what the outcome's going to be, I think that you're just kind of more laid back about like, whatever happens. But when you care about something, you just like, you're just worried about how it's going to be received, and if you do it justice and if you deliver well. So I think it's normal, and I guess it's just important to keep your purpose in perspective, so that you focus more on that and less on how people might receive it.
Are you thinking in terms a little bit like Celine Dion, like maybe Las Vegas, probably have many shows there lined up, maybe New York, Los Angeles? Is that where you're aiming for?
That would be cool, but I guess but no, I'm not like aiming for that, because I don't see that as like a personal milestone in a way of success. Like the things that I write about and the things that I want to talk about have a lot to do with, my personal life and mental health, and getting people challenging people to reflect and to kind of like be better versions of themselves. And I want people to like dig a little deeper. We get a lot of like fast music and a lot of like fast paced life, and we don't really take a lot of time to ourselves. So I like writing about things for us to think about. That being said, I'm not sure that a casino is really going to be a great place to showcase that, because I think people just kind of want to go there and have a chill night. So anything's possible. If eventually I book that, great. But if I don't, no skin off my back,
Okay, you take someone who absolutely wants to sing, has got the talent, but the problem is, person's shy. How do you overcome shyness?
You do it. You just close your eyes, you get on stage, and you do it. I had a lot of stage fright as a kid, as a teen, and even like not even recently. Like I still have that stage fright, but I think that just saying like I have no choice right now. I have to get up and I have to go do this and I have to deliver. And by doing it and repeating it and doing it again and making the mistakes and fixing them and doing it again, at some point it just becomes second nature. And I don't think that there's any better teacher than like live experience. There's nothing that school could teach you about live shows that could help you be great. It's the trial and the error, embarrassing yourself and not doing it again.
Okay, is it a good idea to wear dark sunglasses so that you don't see the audience?
Not for me, because I trip all over the place.
Oh my God, no. Oh wow. So here's the question. You trip all over the place. Have you tripped all over the place, and when?
I've very classily, if that's like even a word, just kind of like gotten my heels wobbled over the mic cables and like twisted ankles, but just kept smiling and nodding so people might not notice.
Has it ever happened you fell off the stage while you were singing? Like you're singing and all of a sudden you land on a table or something? No?
No, and I hope that that never happens.
Hey, you know what? What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie?
Yeah, which movies do you relate to? Musicals?
So I think a movie that made a lasting impression was The Help. And with Viola Davis and Octavia Spencer, Emma Stone. But as a kid, I think the Sister Act movies.
Oh, I like those.
I watched those like on repeat as a kid. I was always, I guess I kind of related to the really shy little nun, because like she was a small lady, super shy, didn't want to sing, but she had the biggest voice. And as a kid, like I felt kind of the same. I was like kind of small and like super shy and wanted to sing, but was like too afraid to sing. So like she was kind of like a little nudge for me to be like, okay, well, she can do it, and let me go and do it. So that made a lasting impression as well. And now I guess as an adult, like I guess a lot more like animation films that have kind of stuck out. Like most recently, Soul, for example. That was amazing. I cried most of the movie. I thought it was just super beautiful and like really touching for us to think about of the purpose in our life and the meaning that we put into what we do. And obviously being about music, like I was a bit more sensitive, but it was those were some of my highlights.
Right too. Huh?
Yeah. Yes,
Take that.
I proudly say I'm an emotional person, emotional and sensitive person.
Which song, other than that, made you cried when you heard it? If you still today, you cry your life over it. You don't have to say when we were young, eh?
No. I actually like when I first got the music video edit back, I did cry about it. I was like, this is really sad. Like, but in the way of songs, I find like Lewis Capaldi's songs always make me cry. I find he's just one of those like really raw artists. There's so much grief in his voice, and I can't help myself every time I hear him.
Oh wow. Rosie, you know what? This hour has gone by so fast with all the technical difficulties and all. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We hope. Anyways, you got some news once in a while. You're saying that the sound was coming out nice and all that. I hope to God it did, because on my end, on Rosie's end over here, it's like we're trying to keep up over here, guys. If we were a little off, we're really sorry about it. Not our fault. Technology, that's the way it is. Rosie, your closing comments. What advice do you have for? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. What was the question?
Your closing comments, because we have come, unfortunately, to the close of the show. I wish I can go on longer.
So I guess like for everyone, like for any like musicians and artists that are watching this, like I guess what I would recommend is that you keep, if you feel like you have a problem or like an issue and that you want to improve, like don't stop looking for opportunities to improve. Look for, reach out for some help, reach out for some mentorship or for some coaching. And I think that for anyone in the industry, it's like, I would say, make sure that you always kind of keep your purpose or in why you do something at the forefront of your brain, so that throughout like all kind of the ups and downs and everything, you don't get so discouraged by, the dents and the bumps in the road and all the ways that you get derailed sometimes. Keep your purpose and vision clear and honor that as best as possible.
So for people who want mentorship, you were saying there, is it right that they can reach you at your website right here at the bottom of the screen, decemberrose.com?
Yeah, they can reach me. They can reach me there. There's a contact form, or they can send me an email directly to decemberrosestudios@gmail.com. I have a December Rose Studios page as well on Facebook, so they can reach out there as well if they like.
Okay, and they can find your email and all that information on your website, right?
Yeah, there's a contact form.
Okay, well, I'm just going to post the closing comments over here as we're going away. Rosie, please stay behind backstage. We're going to have our wine party with the producer.
Okay.
So don't go anywhere. Stay right where you are.
We're going to be right back. Okay.
Hey, you nailed that. That was awesome. That was epic. Rosie, stand by. I'm going to come and get you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That was our guest tonight, December Rose. A beautiful podcast tonight. Again, any issue that we had and all that, we apologize for that. Next week, the issues should be resolved. So, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. And next week, our guest is going to be a merchandise expert, Mr. Vincent Gargano. He's going to be joining us. And to each and every one of you who joined us, a sincere thank you to all. Have a blessed week. Stay safe. Don't forget the curfew. It's 8:00. It's okay. Just in time to come and watch Rob's Inner Circle on Mondays. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Have a blessed week. See you soon. Ciao.